We interrupt the internet with the breaking news.
This just in, tiny fish are climbing a waterfall like rent is due. Scientists made a T-Rex handbag because Extinction Now has a stylist. And in Canada, engineering students hung a Volkswagen on a cliff because apparently tuition still leaves room for crime-adjacent crafts. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's that time of night when your ambition says one more productive thing and your body says best I can do is snacks. Welcome to Bob versus the News, the only show built for that beautiful hour when the day is almost over, your standards are getting softer, and the internet suddenly feels way too confident. This is the part of the night where normal people wind down and the news starts acting like it took pre-workout. I am ready. Mentally, debatable. But legally and upright, ready. Tonight, wildlife with no shame, luxury with no shame, and engineering students with absolutely no lawyer. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, tiny shellier fish have been documented climbing the 50-foot Luvilombo Falls, using fins and tiny hook-like projections to grip wet rock, and some take nearly 10 hours to reach the top. That is not fish behavior, that is middle management with gills. The news scores first. That's a clean 3 for weaponized ambition from the pet store LinkedIn division. 10 hours to climb a waterfall? I won't commit to anything for 10 hours unless there's playoff baseball, a cheesesteak, or witness protection at the end. Bob gets on the board. That's 2 for brutally honest self-awareness and a cheesesteak-based code of ethics. And they do it for a better habitat. Fewer predators, less competition. Even the fish are relocating for quality of life. The fish have a housing plan. I had toaster waffles. Bob with a short counter. Early offense from the desk. But the fish are still coming uphill like debt collectors with fins. Scaled to human size, this is basically a man free climbing a wet office building because the next neighborhood has better schools. The news answers right back. That's a 2 for an image so specific, so humiliating, it just turned urban planning into a survivor thriller. Now, you know what this is? Rocky IV if Adrian were an aquarium filter. Huge shot from Bob. 4 points for the cinematic stupidity. He just turned a waterfall fish into an 80s underdog movie sponsored by PetSmart. Tiny hooks. Whetstone. 10-hour climb. These fish didn't evolve. They unionized against gravity. The news fires back. 3 points for blue-collar nightmare imagery. These fish just made gravity look like management during contract talks. I am already furious because they're more disciplined than every guy who says rise and grind and then spends noon reposting Gary V shirtless in a cold plunge. Round 1 to Bob, a strong opening rally. He found the angle, he found the absurdity, and he briefly made fish migration sound like a hostile real estate market. In Amsterdam, scientists and designers unveiled a teal handbag made from lab-grown leather using collagen derived from T-Rex fossils. And it's expected to go to auction with a starting bid above $500,000. This is where rich people officially ran out of normal. A dinosaur died 66 million years ago and somehow still got dragged into branding. Bob comes out swinging in round 2. 4 points for immediate class warfare and a brutal read on luxury's necromancy budget. $500,000 for a handbag? That's not fashion. That's a cry for help in premium teal. Big swing from reality. The news coming over top with a luxury number so stupid it needed its own security team. And of course it's teal. Because if you're going to turn extinction into an accessory, it should look like a billionaire bribed a mermaid. Bob with another clean shot. 3 points for color commentary. So vicious, it just gave the handbag yacht debt and gills. They displayed it in a cage under a replica T-Rex. Even the presentation was like, please welcome the dumbest thing science has done since cocaine for coughs. The news scores again. 4 points for pageantry. So deranged, it turned a museum reveal into a parole hearing for bad ideas. I need everyone to appreciate the journey here. Those Congo fish climbed a waterfall for survival. We climbed the whole ladder of evolution to make a purse. Bob answers back 3 points for a clean callback and a devastating reminder that evolution did not die for this purse. The fish said, we seek safer habitat. Humanity said, can extinction hold lip gloss? Bob is putting combinations together now. Good body work from the host. But the headline is still standing there in teal, fully moisturized, asking for another million. And some paleontologists are skeptical it even counts as real T-Rex leather. Perfect. So it's not just obscene. It might also be fake. That's luxury, baby. The news stops the rally. 3 points for expert skepticism. Even the scientists are in there now, and they do not appear to respect the merchandise. This bag has the exact energy of a guy selling moon rocks behind a vape store while promising you it's an investment piece. Bob sneaks in 2 more. Beautiful comparison. That bag now officially has vape shop felony energy. Ancient protein fragments, host cells, bioengineered leather, $500,000 starting bid. Somewhere a normal cow is watching this like, so I died for nothing? The news closes the exchange. 3 points for one final absurd detail. When the normal cow enters the chat, you know reality is up on the cards. This isn't sustainability. This is what happens when marketing gets access to a lab and nobody in the room still fears God. The news takes the main event. Bob had sharp counters, but the fossil purse kept adding details like a champion with unlimited sponsorship money. In British Columbia, authorities said a red Volkswagen Beetle shell was found suspended on a rock face above Highway 99 near Squamish, with a large E on the roof pointing to engineer-student tradition. And officials also noted a 2009 attempt ended with a beetle falling from Vancouver's Ironworker Memorial Bridge. First of all, this is not a prank. A prank is a whoopee cushion. This is a semester-long felony with office hours. The news opens big. 4 points for a stunt so overbuilt it feels like a capstone project in bad judgment. Those fish climbed a waterfall because nature demanded it. These guys hung a beetle off a mountain because attention demanded it. Same species, wildly different wiring. Bob gets 3 back. Strong counter. He just compared animal survival to student attention seeking, and frankly, the fish should be offended. And of course it's a beetle, because even parked normally, these cars already look like it knows a secret. Bob again for more. He's profiling the Beetle now. The car just got red like it showed up to brunch, hiding 3 crimes. Bob rallying tremendous composure from the desk. He's reading the car's body language now. A giant red Beetle over Highway 99 with an E on the roof. That is not engineering. That is jackass with transcripts. The news lands another 3. The visual is still carrying heavy lumber here, folks. A red Beetle on a cliff is hard to beat with mere language. You know what this really is? A group project with a felony. Bob with a quick 2, short shot, clean shot. Group project with a felony is exactly the kind of sentence that gets tenure revoked. And the worst part is that this was on the Stawamis Chief, a sacred place. So now it's not just stupid, it's spiritually rude. They turned a mountain into a frat haunted house. The news widens the gap. 4 points for spiritual trespassing. This story just got upgraded from dumb to culturally haunted. Huge scoring sequence for the news. It's not just nonsense anymore, folks. It's a disrespect with elevation. Humanity keeps getting incredible tools and using them like raccoons with Grant. Bob storms back. 4 points for the callback. Raccoons with grants remains a devastating scouting report on the species. The fish used tiny hooks to fight gravity. These idiots used tuition money to become gravity's sketchiest subcontractors. Another 3 for Bob. He's chaining callbacks now. Fish, gravity, tuition money. That's veteran desk work under pressure. And this is apparently a tradition. A tradition. That means somewhere on campus there's a room full of seniors going, "We honor our forefathers by embarrassing mechanics." Huge 5 for the news. A tradition. A tradition. That means this stupidity has alumni donations. Also, Canada, I say this with love. This is the most Canadian crime possible. No victim statement. Just a suspended Beetle and a handwritten apology on graph paper. Bob answers with 3. Strong international read. He just made this sound like the politest felony in North America. Then I found out there was a 2009 Beetle Bridge incident. So this isn't a prank. This is a dynasty. This is heredity nonsense. This is Beatlemania for men who smell like rat rope. The news with another 5. The sequel always scores bigger when the franchise is hereditary nonsense. The news is pouring in on late. Championship pace from reality. Bob is throwing back, but the headline has depth, callbacks, and multi-generational stupidity. Somewhere, that T-Rex handbag is looking at this Cliff car like, finally, another product for people with too much money and no adult supervision. Bob gets 3 back on the callback. The fossil purse returns to the action, and somehow it still isn't the least responsible object in this story. And I'm sorry, if your academic legacy is "we hung a VW shell off a sacred rock," your diploma should come stapled to a waiver. By split decision, your winner by superior nonsense, deeper chaos, and a devastating late sequence from geology and stupidity, the news. What we learn. If a fish wants a better life, it climbs a waterfall. If a billionaire wants a better life, it buys extinction in teal. Science can now engineer a dinosaur handbag, which means nobody at the lab fears consequences or interns. And if you give college kids enough rope, eventually even the mountain needs legal counsel. Bob boxed beautifully. The world remains uninsurable. Until next time, I'm Bob, reminding you, stay weird, stay upright, and if life gets hard, be like those Congo fish. climb. Just maybe don't major in hanging Volkswagens off sacred rock faces.